Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of voice of radio. So today, we need to talk about some Pokemon news, a few things going on, but I think we need to start with demigod packs, which, can we find a better phrase, right? There has got to be a better phrase than that. I don't like it. It doesn't make me happy. It sounds a bit silly. Can we all just put our heads together? There's got to be something better than this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to use this image from Paige at PAEEJE over on Twitter. And this shows exactly what we're talking about very, very nicely. It's not a full-on God pack as we would understand it over in Japan. But it's a pack I'd like to open, frankly, because you'll notice that in that pack, we've got the illustration rare Bulbasaur, we've got the illustration rare Ivysaur, and we've got the special illustration rare Venusaur. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that sounds pretty good. The whole evolution line, and let's look at the digital scans for a second, because we do have them. We can see that actually, this isn't a secret, right? We've known this since 151 was revealed over in Japan. We've got basically all of this, the first partner Pokemon, the same artist has done the illustration rares, or the artwork rares as they were in Japan, and they're telling a story with it. Now, in terms of the storytelling aspect of it, Venusaur's actually, in my opinion, the least of them, because it's just kind of like, hey, I'm Bulbasaur, I'm in a field. Hey, I'm Ivysaur, I'm kind of next to a stream in the field. Hey, I'm Venusaur, I'm back in the field again. And it's cool growing up in the field or whatever it might be, but it's not exactly my favourite of them. Now, if you want my favourite of them, how about the Mitsuhiro Rita Squirtle? Because you've got Squirtle, hey, I'm at the beach, but I'm just kind of paddling it in the waves as they hit the shore. I'm a little bit scared. And then we got Wartortle, like, hey, I'm swimming around in the water, but don't worry, I can see the light streaming down through the top. I'm not that deep, it's fine. And then you've got Blastoise of, mate, I'm full on free diving, I'm Blastoise, I'm fine. Kind of gaining that confidence to go deeper and deeper in the water as they evolve. That is very, very cool. And then we've got kind of the opposite with Charizard, which is Charmander on a rock looking up and like, oh, mate, I'd like to be up there one day. And then Charmeleon, which is kind of like, hey, I'm climbing up and I'm not at the top yet. And then Charizard, like, look at me fly, boys. I am here. Love it. Absolutely. And to be fair, I love the Venusaur artwork. I just think in terms of the story, the other two are better. And it seems like this is what you can get in packs of 151. You can open up a pack, and you can basically go and get yourself all three of them in one. Now, you don't always get all three of them. You may have seen one of my openings. I got the Ivysaur. Not a pause for dramatic effect. I only got the Ivysaur. I didn't get the others. I was a little bit sad. I would like to have gotten the others. That would have made me very happy. Just because I would love the artwork and I'd love to get the three of them. But make no mistake about it, this is still extremely cool. Now, over in Japan for 151, they did have full-on God packs. If we take a look at this one, we've still actually got the free grass cards, but then we also went and got the free Squirtle cards. So we got kind of both of those lines in one, which I believe was how it worked in God packs over in Japan. You'd basically get two of the evolution lines in one go, rather than one like we get here. The thing is, God packs is really not a thing which Pokemon acknowledges. I mean, we've had God packs in a bunch of Japanese sets, and these are never officially acknowledged in Japan. But then again, that's just kind of, you know, you have God packs in a bunch of card games that just don't get acknowledged. But they have to be deliberate. Like, there's no way Pokemon accidentally goes and puts two evolution lines worth of illustration rares in one pack by accident. Like, there's no way that's actually a thing. So, it's clearly deliberate on Pokemon's part. It's just an unspoken thing. And for that reason, I would imagine, don't have any insider information, purely guesswork on my part, but I would imagine that this is very deliberate on Pokemon's part as well, that they want to put these in for the English packs. Why have that? Because we never had them before. We've had plenty of God packs in Japan. This is the first time we've had something similar over here. And even then, like, they're still not full-on God packs because, you know, you get free illustration rares. That's amazing, incidentally, not knocking it. But clearly, it's not as good as they are in Japan. Don't think that's a particularly controversial statement. Obviously, over in Japan, they're cooler. But, I mean, hands up if you want to get one of these when you open your 151. I certainly do, ladies and gentlemen. I certainly do. Now, as it stands at the moment, I have only come across 3 permutations of these. The only ones I've actually come across at the moment are you get the whole Venusaur line, you get the whole Charizard line, or you get the whole Blastoise line. As it stands at the moment, they're the only permutations I've seen of these quote-unquote demigod packs. Still don't like the phrase. So it seems like that's essentially what we've got. It seems like they are your 3 options. But I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this sounds pretty gosh darn good to me. I'm in. I'd like to pull one, incidentally. But, does anyone out there actually think I'm finished opening 151 right now? I'm not, ladies and gentlemen. I am not finished opening 151. There is plenty more to go yet. So, still a lot of questions that need to be answered. Pull rates of them, how common they are, is obviously a big one that a lot of people want to know. We do not have any data on that at the moment. If I can find any reliable data or data which is worth talking about, obviously I'll bring it to the channel. We'll make a video. We'll have a good old chat about it. But for the time being, I've seen enough to know that they're real. And I've seen enough to know that there are only the 3 different varieties of them. And I've seen enough to know that I really want one. Anything else, we'll have to worry about later. Now, there are a couple of new playmats which have gone and popped up over on the Pokemon Center in the US and in the UK. And we got ourselves a Graveyard. We got another one. We'll get to that one in a minute. We got a Graveyard. I like this one. It's a very simple playmat. It is a Graveyard sitting on a hill, looking kind of lonely. But then again, it's a ghost dog. I think it's fair to say, and, sorry to Graveyard for saying this, ghost dogs are probably quite lonely, honestly. So, yeah. And I still harbour some hope that at some point in the not too distant future, this could be kind of good. Remember, we got the one that came around in Scarlet and Violet base, which did an extra 10 damage for each Psychic Pokemon in your discard pile. So 1 Psychic Energy, 10 damage for each Psychic Pokemon in your discard pile. Very cool card. But then, of course, we also got the Houndstone in the same set, which did 80 damage base, plus 10 for each Psychic Pokemon in your discard pile. And then we got Houndstone EX coming around in Obsidian Flames and did 160, plus 10 for each Psychic Pokemon in your discard pile. And look, it's not become a deck yet. And I know that most people are thinking it will probably never become a deck. There is a very good chance that it never becomes a deck. But one of my biggest issues with this deck when it was released is that it's an evolution deck that takes a couple of turns to set up, and Sableye is going to be all over this, and that's going to make me very, very sad. Sableye seemed to be one reason why this deck basically couldn't work. Well, you know what? We are getting that Jirachi, which will stop Sableye. So maybe, and I'm just going to show you the lovely So-So Graveyard, because oh my goodness, it's amazing. And I don't know. Maybe it's still never going to work. Maybe my Ghost Dog deck is never going to be good. But one of my biggest issues with even testing it was the fact that Sableye just basically made it not worth the hassle. And now that we've got an answer to Sableye, could it? Could it work? Could it be good? Still probably not. But definitely seems like a deck I want to be firing up over on PTCG Live and just playing game after game after game after game after game. Because, well, okay, probably like 8 or 10 games until I realize it's really not working. Because, oh my word, I love it, ladies and gentlemen. I want my Ghost Dog deck. The other one, which, I should say, no, sorry. Getting ahead of myself here. This is releasing for £20 over in the UK or $25 over in the US. Standard price for playmats. And look, it's up to you, obviously. But it's very simply a case of these are pretty cool playmats. I like a lot of the ones coming out in Japan, but compared to the rubbish that Ultra Pro's been pumping out for the last few years, these are obviously extremely cool. And yeah, I like this one. It's very cool. The other one that's gone and been released is Tinkaton, and I know an awful lot of people like Tinkaton. Tinkaton is a very popular Pokemon. I have no real need for a Tinkaton deck, but I should mention we do have Tinkerton EX, which the regular version, remember, is exclusive to the EX deck. But then we've got a bunch of others which are just in Paldea Evolved. Well, we'd have a bunch of others. We've got the full art and the special illustration rare. And for 2 energy, just does 30 damage for each card in your hand. I have got friends, shout out to lovely Ian Edgar, who have been testing this a lot and really want it to work. I'm going to be putting my testing time personally into my Ghost Dog deck, which has got probably just as much chance of working as Tinkerton. But I'm going to give it a go, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm a little bit excited. So those are the 2 new playmats. Both of them are available now. £20 in the UK, $25 in the US. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If Jirachi comes out, and then my Ghost Dog deck actually works, I'm buying this playmat, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm having a jolly old time with it. For now, I want to know what you think about all of this. I want to know how excited you are. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely Kanto Royalty, who is once again getting a shout out on the channel right as we're talking about 151 and Gen 1. Again, very appropriate. They've been a supporter for a while, and they're awesome, so shout out to them for being a supporter and being awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.